Freedom. It sounds simple, right? But how many times have you felt trapped even when you thought you were free? The world sells you freedom like it's a product. Like freedom means having permission to move within lines they draw for you. Freedom became a box, a set of rules, a script written by others. And you, the founder, the leader, the person who's supposed to break molds and build new ones, you feel crushed by this invisible weight. You're told to innovate but boxed into echo chambers. You're shown data but not shown how to question it deeply. You crave growth but end up stuck in cycles of mediocrity masquerading as progress. Why? Because true freedom isn't given. It's earned inside you. It lives where you refuse to settle. But more than that, it lives in how your ideas, beliefs, and actions evolve along with you. The world tries to trap you in fixed beliefs, rigid dogmas, and ideologies that promise certainty but deliver stagnation. But here is the most powerful truth. Those locked doors, those dead-end structures, are not the only way. There is one idea, one approach, that grows as you grow, that changes its shape as your thinking deepens, as your values expand, as your horizons shift. This idea doesn't ask you to pick one camp and stay loyal forever. No, it changes with you. It meets you where you are today and pushes you toward where you need to be tomorrow. That idea is liberalism, not the watered-down political party kind you hear empty words about. It's the original, raw, fiercely questioning mindset that dares to say, reality is not static. Truth isn't monolithic. Systems should evolve, not confine. And so, your identity, whether as a founder, investor, or leader, is never finished. It is always becoming. It's painful to admit, but so many systems programmed to serve us actually do the opposite. They clamp down on change because chaos scares those in power. They don't want you to challenge the rules because that threatens their control. Maybe you've felt this firsthand. The frustration of being innovative, but constantly pushed back by invisible walls. The loneliness of moving forward when others cling to what's safe and proven. The quiet voice inside screaming because you know there's a better way, but no map to guide you through the noise. Here's what's maddening. This is not a lack of talent. It's not a shortage of ideas. It's the absence of a structure built for freedom, for truly radical change. Most of the world's systems are designed to fit the many, which means exceptional people get lost, quieted, or forced to fake it. Maybe you feel disconnected, misaligned, like your brilliance is wasted or misunderstood because there's no platform that accepts the kind of growth you want. That isolation kills potential. The world undervalues the power of individuals who reject conformity and dare to redefine meaning itself. But that is precisely why embracing a constantly evolving mindset like liberalism can burn that fog away. It allows a kind of freedom you've never tasted. Freedom that stays hungry. Freedom that does not close doors, but opens new ones every time you learn, every time you fail, every time you challenge yourself and come out different on the other side. Imagine a space where you don't just belong, but where you become, where your ideas aren't shackled to yesterday's truths, but celebrated for their growth potential. This isn't just a distant dream. It's a reality waiting to be claimed by those ready to tear down convenience and conformity. The true chains dressed as comfort. What if you could connect not with the masses, but with the few who burn just like you do? People who don't just nod politely, but the ones who challenge your views. Not to defeat you, but to forge you into something new, stronger, unbreakable. This is what the real movement behind liberalism is. A network of the rare, the misunderstood, the bold. It's a rebellion against the complacency of rulebooks and the mediocrity of silent conformity. A rebellion that shifts power away from the center, away from the comfortable plateau where systems ossify, to the edges where true transformation ignites. Because history tells us progress never came from those sitting quietly in their comfort zones. It always came from the few who rejected safety, who questioned everything, who persisted long after others gave up. You're part of that lineage, whether you realize it or not. You have the tools to forge new realities, but only if you refuse to let the world's illusions cage you. You have the weapon of your will and the clarity of your thinking. The problem is the lack of infrastructure to channel it into real, lasting change. It's not about fitting in, it's about breaking out and finding the right links, those few people and ideas that ignite synergy. Because misaligned brilliance is just noise. Aligned brilliance is power that changes the game. This is why the code of true freedom can't be shared like a recipe in a book. It's lived, practiced, sweat earned. It's ruthless. It demands that you be sovereign over yourself, that you question everything but hold nothing sacred, that you transform your reality instead of accepting its cheap copies. It requires patience because deep change is never swift. But eternity favors those who play the long game, those who understand that freedom isn't a given, it's a battle you never stop fighting. Here's the secret many overlook. Comfort is the enemy of your evolution. The moment you accept comfort as your safe place, you dim your fire, you stop growing. Your potential becomes a ghost trapped behind polite smiles. The world's greatest slavery is invisible. It smiles at you, tells you, relax, you're free now, while it quietly buries the passion inside you, beneath layers of convenience and norms. But freedom isn't about ease. It's about owning your life fully, with all its challenges, risks, uncertainties. It's about being so intensely yourself that nothing and no one can cage your spirit. When you do this, you don't just survive, you build, you invent. You lead revolutions in thought and action. You create that future that everyone else only dreams of, because they're too comfortable in their illusions to chase it. You don't need to chase belonging anymore because you don't fit in places made for the average. You craft your own space alongside those few who shine as fiercely as you do. You honor your differences because that's where strength lives. You understand that unity doesn't come from sameness, but from the power found in contrast and individuality. Through those few who dare to rise, you free the many. This path isn't easy. It never was. But the alternative is worse. To live a life half-formed, living borrowed dreams, chained by invisible rules. To settle for mediocrity when you were meant to transcend. To watch others shape the future while you fade quietly behind the curtains. So this is a call, not for everyone, but for those who feel it deep inside. That unbearable tension that tells you that you were meant for more. That reality is richer and stranger and more alive than society suggests. That there are no ultimate limits except the ones you accept. That every assumption can be challenged, every belief evolved, every boundary pushed. You were born to break free, to question, to evolve, to become. This is the evolution of freedom itself, the kind of liberating power that grows as you grow and never stays still. This is why liberalism isn't just an old word or a political label. It's a living, breathing revolution inside you, ready to ignite your potential like never before. So refuse anything less than evolution. Refuse anything less than total freedom. Refuse to be a prisoner of yesterday's illusions. Break the chains, join the rare few, and watch the world shift because you chose to grow, because you chose to become unstoppable.